Alrighty, guys, welcome back. It's your boy EQ. And up next, we have why Drake just went on the worst rant of all time and some huge Kendrick announcements. Shout out to Fantastic Hip Hop for the video. I'm also going to be speaking on the very, very dramatic fall off of What Did I Miss by Drake. And again, fam, you missed quite a bit. And at this point, it feels like Drake is just falling down the up escalator, seemingly free falling in slow motion. He's been attempting everything to get back on track, from stream appearances on probably the most degenerate streamers there are, to now streaming out his very own album rollout, which is doing the exact opposite of what a rollout is supposed to do. And I don't care how much goalpost moving the cult of the OVOites are going to try and muster up. The numbers speak for themselves, guys. What Did I Miss dropped from number 8 to number 23 in a week, which is definitely crazy after it had its peak of number 2. But the fact is, Drake hasn't had a number 1 last for longer than a week in 2018, which is probably why UMG was like, yeah, we're not going to let you hijack us anymore. That type of behavior floats when you're hot, but once you cool off, that resentment will rear its ugly head. And the colleagues that hid their feelings all these years because of that potential feature are going to let their true feelings be known. And as far as that rant, super cringe. It's hard to convince people you're not a snake when there has been various shady allegations that seem very snake-like throughout your career. But enough dilly-dallying, let's jump right into these charts first, and then the video where we have why Drake just won on the worst rant of all time and a huge Kendrick announcement. Again, before we start, here is the Billboard charts. See how far it fell down. It's crazy that literally almost a year later, Luther is still in the top 10. It actually went up 2 spots from last week being at 11. And even though a lot of people point to Not Like Us, it's really Luther that really deserves his flowers. Because even though the song is a smash hit, it sometimes gets overlooked. But Kendrick Lamar and SZA probably have the best chemistry between any rapper R&B singer combo. Kudos to that song, man. Doing great still. All right, we'll keep on going. We have number 23 with What Did I Miss by Drake. And like I said in the intro, this is a very dramatic fall off. You don't have records that could potentially go number 1, drop all the way to number 23. Last week, the record was charting at number 8. The peak was number 2, which is honestly also a very significant drop. And it's only been on the charts for 3 weeks. So the fact that it's number 23, man, give it like another week or so and it might fall off the charts completely. Go a little further down on these charts. Nokia over at number 32, which before What Did I Miss was his closest attempt at gaining the number 1 spot, which obviously didn't happen. And like I said, guys, the numbers are the numbers. The cult of the OVOites can't go and keep claiming that Drake's career is completely unchanged and the guy hasn't had his reputation tarnished, even though honestly he's probably done the bulk of that work. And at this point, the way the record has been trending, I don't see it even getting back into the top 10, let alone to number 1. That Which One record with Central C, I could see getting into the top 10, but falling off shortly after that, just because of the hype it had around that stream. But I really don't see that song going number 1 either. All right, now that we checked that out, let's jump right into the video. Again, we have why Drake just went on the worst rant of all time and a huge Kendrick announcement. Shout out to Fantastic Hip Hop for the video.
Now, when it comes to Drake and Kendrick Lamar,
the Jerry Seinfeld accent, I see.
Now, if you are ready to see how Lawbury just went full on
What's the deal,
courtside
Drake?
Karen after the first show that he did not cancel in a while on his tour, and making things even better, all while at the same time we got some very exciting Kendrick Lamar news that could be leading to something very big on the horizon.
I did see that PG Lang put out that, like, I don't know if it's a teaser or a trailer. It looks like a new show may be coming. But that was kind of interesting.
Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And now really, as every day where the Iceman continues to melt and miss on every single front, well, the grown Iceman's grown Icemen are getting mad at me for covering the truth of what's happening. Make sure to leave that like because we are going to need the support. And now with that said, well, when it comes to the guy who really tried to convince us that he studies rap battles for a living. Listen, after seeing the
obviously that was deemed very, very erroneous
absolute run of insanity that has went down over the past few days with the tour failing and the songs flopping, well, honestly, now that I am sitting here and after being excited to cover new music and new things, we are once again talking about another crash out that he has done. I have to say, really, it's getting to a point with the antics that we keep seeing and the stuff that's on display that you just have to sit there and wonder what's really going on with this loser and what Drake is really trying to.
I think he's just trying to throw whatever out there and trying to see if it sticks. He's trying to go the streamer route, but honestly, it almost seems like no effort has been put into those streams. A lot of art just for the sake of art, no real intention, no real deeper meaning. I mean, everything has been super surface level. Yeah, I get it. The Pinocchio and the sign that read that the water is 4 feet tall, we get it. You're trying to take jabs at Kendrick again. even though the OVOites want to keep claiming that it's Kendrick that needs Drake to get attention.
To do, because now seemingly after canceling shows, everybody's seeing that there is no hype around them whatsoever and nobody wants the tickets, and then canceling an entire tour.
Well, people are there, but I did see someone write in the comments earlier today that no one's talking about the fact that Drake has tickets for $27 on this tour.
Or forever in what we just saw with the end of the Anita Max Win run of shows, which Drake promised that he was going to reschedule and then didn't after all of
Party
these
on this tour?
Well, really, Drake is not just on a run of losses or a return or anything like that, but he is just really continuing a run that I just want to say is only giving him humiliation and nothing else in the worst way. And this is really the case because for the courtside Karen of rap, there is not even a thought in his mind which is trying to better his status and do anything to improve his reputation.
In his mind, though, he thinks he's bettering his status, but
all at the same time,
avail.
He's seemingly getting more and more excited to just create these viral moments where we're all making fun of him. Now, I say all of this because now when it comes to Drake's latest show of the Not So Special Shows for You tour in Amsterdam, well, within this awful excuse of a performance, as Drake really does keep whatever energy he actually has throughout the entirety of the set list because he does nothing that actually requires him to use any of it. And again, this is not even a joke, this is serious because if you do watch any
he lets the crowd usually do the heavy lifting when it comes to performing.
Clips of these performances, even during the most hype songs, all Drake does is act like a Z-list DJ and yells a few times and then lets the speakers just play his catalog while he stands there. Well, now, to be honest, well, for Drake,
the antithesis of what the GNX tour has been, with Kendrick Lamar literally rapping every word and having the most minimal of backing tracks. It's just an ad-lib or a harmony here and there.
He may think that he can get more shows out of this because it's not as tiring to get on the road. I think that we are seeing how bad of a mistake this really is. As for most performers, in between them really putting everything out there to try to get fans going, they are so tired that they never even allow themselves to be embarrassed. But really for Drake, this couldn't be farther from the truth. As with what he just did,
he can be more
ended
embarrassing.
Up having a moment and a bad one at that, where he just started going on one of his awful rants, which he really tried to disguise as a motivational speech for the first few words. But then
it just shows how out of touch he really is.
It quickly turned into another "please validate my loss to Kendrick Lamar" confession, as he just straight up said, "I didn't get here by being a snake. I got here by being good to people, being nice to people. My karma is straight." And now as Drake...
Fam, if that were the case, you would have had some more people defending you. The fact that no one came out is testament to your character behind the scenes. You can be the friendliest guy on camera, but if you're doing shady things behind the scenes, stuff like that is going to breed resentment. Like I said, when that Drake feature is hot and it guarantees a hit, people are going to keep their feelings to themselves. But when that's not the case, you're going to see people lash out, or worse yet, just keep silent and not say anything, because sometimes silence is worse than actually saying something.
Finished this rant by saying,
left him alone on that island.
I appreciate you. And then people actually barked back at him, and at that, a lot of people did. Well, I mean, this is the problem. I mean, first off, if you were one of the grown people actually barking at Drake like a dog during a concert of his, well, you know what? I'm actually not even going to say what I want to say. But really now, when we look at what Drake did here and how embarrassing it is, when is he going to realize that he is grifting not just his fans and everything around the OVO community, but really his own self-image and legacy at this point? Because when we hear Drake say these things, and then we know the reality of the situation, well, let's just go down and break what Drake said word by word.
Illusion.
Again, now, as Drake is saying that he didn't get here by being a piece of Wagwan Delilah, and he didn't get here by being a snake, and he got here by being good to people, being nice to people, and that his karma is straight because of this. Well, for the man who was once named Aubrey but turned into Lawbury, let me just ask, is your karma really straight? Because first, let's start off with the person that did the most for you in your entire career, and you would have never even gotten a hip-hop card without on the highest level.
Yeah, he may have gotten into the industry, but having Wayne as a cosign, especially during that time when Wayne was literally the hottest rapper out, was obviously the best thing for his career at the time. People forget that before that cosign, it's not like he hadn't been trying to get hot for a few years at that point. I actually have a mentor of mine that actually worked with him early on, and the dude looked corny. There's a reason why even the chicks in the beginning didn't show him any love. And if you guys are too young to remember this, you might not know that after that attempt, he was actually sent down to Houston, where he basically studied and crafted this new persona. And that's honestly where that Houston connection comes from.
In none other than Lil Wayne, which now with him is going
Come on,
behind his
Tammy.
back and betraying his trust by hopping
I'm
around
not
with his
mistaken.
girl, not being a piece of trash or being good to people all the way to the point where your karma is straight and you're not worried about a thing. And now beyond Wayne, let's keep going, is doing
Also, yeah, the girl could have been throwing it at Drake and giving him the full court press with attention. But at the end of the day, if that's your man's, it takes two to tango, fam.
the
And a
exact
tattoo
same
ain't gonna
thing you
fix
did
it.
to Wayne to Future and dissing him on 2 albums straight before getting dissed back and then complaining and whining about it again, not being a snake. And we can keep going, is telling somebody near Metro Boomin that you don't care about how he is dealing with no longer
Just
having
send
his
the
mother.
beats.
You just want your beat, a stand-up thing that an amazing, great person would do. And we don't have to stop here, is continuously alluding to the fact that you were going behind the guy who made Graduations back and were maybe with Kim Kardashian while he had an entire family with her being a good person either. And then again, was dragging women into your beefs with Pusha T, Kendrick Lamar, or LeBron being this stand-up person and making some awful claims that had no basis in reality about them a good thing too? And now to start wrapping this up is associating with people who have awful backgrounds and past themselves and who represent just some straight up terrible things, whether
you have people like Baca around you, you have cheerleaders like academics, and you expect people to be any different? Yeah, it's not going to work like that.
it's Morgan Wallen, DDG, or so many others, you always being this nice and amazing guy. Because let's remember, when you support these people, you do indirectly tell everybody that their horrible and questionable actions are okay. Well,
especially when you go and do it publicly. There's probably people out there that are still friends with R. Kelly. They still show love to Morgan Wallen. But yeah, they do it behind the scenes. You going out there and doing it publicly, you're just totally out of touch if you're thinking that people aren't going to associate yourself with them. And interactions like this, I get that, yeah, you was a child star. I'm nowhere near the level, obviously, that Millie Bobby Brown is. But that interaction is something that could have probably just happened in text or passing each other on the red carpet and not some hotel room, even if the father was there.
With all of these, and there also are a lot of other stranger things that we can talk about. Well, really, we could keep going further, but you get the point. Drake literally has not been at all what he is saying he is, and within this, he could not be the furthest thing from it, because for so many reasons, and at that for so long. Drake has been the polar opposite of just anything slightly good or upstanding in any matter, and really for Drake just trying to turn his concert into this session where he is trying to get validation for being one of the worst people in the entire music industry in quite a while, and then for him to try and make this moment where he is looking like the bigger person when in reality we all know he is not, because he has a history of just awful and stranger things. Well, Loser Love and Lawbree's gotta stop, and now at the same time as these are the only things we see from Drake concerts, which are just these embarrassing moments, while meanwhile for Kendrick Lamar, we are just seeing crowd after crowd go absolutely crazy for every single song, from the biggest of bangers to the...
And he's rapping from beginning to end. And I definitely don't want to discredit SZA. She's having epic show after epic show, really showing out and really showing people that she is a pop star. You get in there and you listen to her set, and you almost forget how many hits she has. Countless hits.
Deepest of cuts. Well,
beautiful
stop
production
playing
sets
with the king of rap. And now, speaking of the king of rap and Kendrick Lamar, there is some huge news coming from Kendrick and Dave Free at the same time as Drake is crashing out, which is all surrounding something completely new from the minds responsible for everything that has changed and shifted hip-hop on the highest level possible in this era. And now what I am talking about is something that they have created, which is called Project 3. This is a full-service agency providing creative direction, content creation, production services, and brand design
and they've already had their hand in this for quite some time. They've actually done some major campaigns for big brands. They've also won awards for filmmaking already. So, yeah, all around, these guys are doing everything right, it seems.
Strategy. And now with this new venture from Dot and Dave Free, what's so clear from how they rolled it out and what they are presenting the mission of it as, is overall this big step to expand and turn PG Lang into something much bigger and something that they really want to do, which is not just create the model label or hip-hop agency as a whole, but is to do something much bigger. And Kendrick did allude to this on The Hard Part 6, which now...
Yeah, I think Fantastic Hip Hop knows a lot of this stuff kind of surface level. This is stuff that they've been doing for a minute now, though. But obviously, they're rebranding a new agency for it.
Once again, you could put this on the list of things that Kendrick Lamar actually held his words up to. Meanwhile, Drake has never once put anything into reality that he has ever said. But
I won't go that far, but the guy has done too much damage and honestly rubbed too many people the wrong way. which is the reason why I think no one has come out to defend him. It's been a year and a half later, and people, other than what, Thug, and even then, the people that have been speaking out explicitly say that they don't technically have a problem with Kendrick Lamar either, because that's the last thing you want, especially after that dismantling we all witnessed last year. But I will say this, the stuff that Kendrick Lamar has been manifesting and putting into action and actually making tangible definitely has a lot more substance than basically anything I've seen Drake do.
Seriously, what they are doing is building what they think is going to be the next creative agency of the future, and they are really swinging big here with it, as they are taking the approach they have to all of the other art and moments we have seen drop under their names over the past few years. And truly with this, what they clearly want to do is just take the moments and
have Don Cheadle in a video, to me, that's still legendary shit right there.
Quality control that they already have and put it on an even greater scale.
I actually met him on set.
What Dave Free said is, now we actually did get some statements from him about what's to come. And I truly think now, in this time where rap is getting better projects, but at the same time, there's also bigger crash outs and more messiness, which is kind of diluting things.
It's the nature of the internet. When you give everyone a voice, you give everyone a microphone, you're gonna have crash outs.
To read one of the masterminds of everything great going on's actual thoughts, which they just read. There's no desire for infinite growth with Project 3.
The preview for the
company to
IMAX
scale,
documentary.
but at a pace that puts quality well over quantity to ensure the work aligns with their purpose and integrity. That's going to be the marker of how successful this can be, because I don't see us doing just anything with anyone, Free says. We are definitely going for a more premium approach. The goal, he explains, is to give brands a foundation for long-term success. When I look at a brand, I'm not thinking about how to get them to the next quarter, he says.
Yeah, like I've said, they've been doing this for quite some time, and you can actually search it yourselves. Big brands.
I'm thinking about how to get them to the next 10 years.
Fashion
I'm
brands,
trying to make the best thing that they have had that becomes reference material for all the companies. And really, when we just understand this thought process and see what Kendrick and Dave Free have already brought to rap, the NFL, Chanel, Gatorade, and so much else that they have had their hands on, well, overall, in a world and era where people are angry about how diluted everything has become and how there is no care for so much of what's coming out, and pretty much how every single entity is churning out slop for short-term benefit. And really, when it comes to hip-hop, this is what directly caused all of the problems in the Drake era. Well, really,
honestly, that's why people devalue a lot of art, because it's just thrown out there with no real intention put behind it.
Now, Kendrick and Dave Free are doing one of the bravest things we have seen in any sort of creative field, which is not just for the creative side, but for the industry sides, find a realistic solution to these issues and start to balance out the trash that seems like it's coming faster and faster and everything.
The microwave
experiences
products
and a quality control level that feels worthwhile. And when we see that this is how big Kendrick and his team are thinking, and this is the ceiling that they are reaching for, which again is just so much higher level than we have seen.
Honestly, at this point, we can't really even put a ceiling to this, because they are thinking so outside the box.
I mean, this should just make you excited and eager to see what PG Lang will do as they become a bigger creative entity. And well, as we are seeing all of this great stuff happen and materialize, which is showing that Kendrick is going to continue to push boundaries both on and off the mic. And at the same time of all of this, Drake is just being an absolute clown as he is pushing his tour back to have a public meltdown session where he is just embarrassing himself and everything he has ever done. Well, again, what I will ask for all of the angry Drake stans watching this, and for everybody else at that, and be honest, who won the beef? Because for anyone...
Bam, you ask that question in every video. The world has spoken, the culture has spoken, every corner of the world has been rejoicing, and honestly, the energy at these GNX shows has been pure pandemonium, whether it's here stateside or overseas. Honestly, overseas seems to have even more energy than the shows in the US. Maybe we can chalk that up to maybe out here people like to act like they're too cool. But just looking at some of these international dates, man, it's been something extraordinary, guys. The shows keep getting better, and the crowds just keep getting even more amazing. Like I keep bringing up, I'm pretty sure we're going to get some type of tour documentary. And if we do get that, I'm definitely getting the pre-sale tickets for the IMAX viewing. I'm definitely excited for that. As far as the whole creative agency, dude, they've been doing that for years now. 4 big brands. Like I said, they've also won awards for their filmmaking. So that announcement, honestly, for me, is just an evolution of that. And I'm definitely excited for that. If you guys still haven't checked out PG Lang's channel, they also released a cool, I don't know, it's like a teaser. It looks like there's a show coming. I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, it's Lionel from Odd Future in the video. And I don't want to directly compare to like Atlanta, but the vibe definitely gives me that. As far as Drake, yeah, he's not getting any sympathy points. He's not going to convince anyone that needs convincing. The cult of the OVOites are already set in their ways, and honestly, you can't reason with people that didn't use reason to get to their point. So at this point, guys, let's just laugh at their delusion. And as far as Drake on the Billboard charts, yeah, man, the dude has not been the same in quite some years, but now it's even worse. And for a song to jump from number 8 to 23 means that the song literally has probably lost its life. And we can't even say a video might kick it up because a video has already been released. So I honestly just think we've seen its peak already. The Which One record will more than likely debut at the top 10, but the most important factor with that song is how long will it stay in the top 10. Because if What Did I Miss couldn't do it, I see this song dropping even further than that record. Definitely let me know what you guys think on that. What do you guys think about his chart standing and the fact that Luther still is number 9 on the charts? For me, that's extraordinary. And to me, that's a song that, even though it's such a smash hit, like I said, it still seems to get overlooked. But definitely let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about his rant and also the Kendrick Lamar announcement? I've obviously known that PG Lang has been dipping their feet in that sector for a long time. So to me, this is just an evolution of that, a rebrand of sorts. But definitely let me know what you guys think of that. Definitely hit the like and subscribe button, guys. It does the channel wonders. I really want to thank you guys so much for continuing to make this channel a part of your day. It honestly means the world to me. And all the love and support that you guys continue to show this channel on a daily is overwhelming and probably the biggest reason why I make these videos. I really want to let you guys know how grateful I am for all of it. Guys, a big shout out to all those that have been joining YouTube memberships. A small way to support the channel, but definitely goes a long way. And a very big super thank you to all those that have been giving super thanks, because again, those donations go so far in helping out the channel. So I'm definitely looking forward to your takes on these topics. Hope you guys love this video, and I hope to see you guys soon. What Did I Miss did that? Which one is going like number 50 after week 2?